What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Not Today. I'm Jen Sturger.
Hey, it's Eddie Pence.
We're slowly getting
That was
there.
relaxed. That was calm and confident.
It was a little...
Kind of like I was doing something else. Like, oh, hey, it's Eddie Pence. Like,
oh, hey, didn't see you there.
oh, hey. Oh, we're doing a show?
So casual. You're such a natural at this.
How
many fucking hours do you have doing podcasts at this point? Have you done the math?
I did do the math. Okay. We had our wrestling show way back when.
Oh, so you are counting that.
If you count that.
Slamcast.
Yes, the steel chair Slamcast.
Yes.
We did that for a year.
That was fun.
That was fun. It's an hour show for about a year. So
do you remember that time when we were recording and Andy Dick came in blasted
yes.
and like was looking for me and he was calling me? He's like, little pig. And I was like, we need security here.
Everybody has an Andy Dick story.
You haven't really been in LA long enough if you don't have an
Colton
Andy Dick.
has an Andy Dick story.
Pause. What?
We were at Universal Studios and we're going through the Harry Potter ride and we're in Hogwarts. We're walking in the line in Hogwarts. And Andy Dick runs up to Colton and he's like, hey, buddy, you got a light? And Colton's just like frozen.
Colton's tall for his age. That's an honest mistake.
This was like 3 years. He was in 7th grade. So he was like a little younger.
Colton's been tall for a while.
Yes. But he goes, no, but he knew he was a kid because I was with him and Colton's probably half a head shorter than I am now.
You have a light.
He's like, hey, buddy, you got a light? And then his handlers immediately ran up to him and pulled him away and took him away.
Jesus Christ.
It's amazing.
Colton was like, what wizard is that?
Who's that? He should be in class. Why isn't that kid in class? It was everybody has an Andy Dick
So how many hours do you have?
Okay. So when I started first heavy duty podcasting was probably around 2018.
That's with Ralph?
That's when I started doing the Ramble with Jerry Rocha and I started doing the Ralph Report with Ralph Garman.
Mm-hmm.
And Ralph Garman's 5 days a week. It's an hour a day, 5 days
That's
a week.
That's a full-time gig.
That's a full-time, it's a lot. And then when we were doing our show,
we were like, and then Cody and I hit you up and we were like, hey,
that was like a year later,
2019.
2019.
You were like, I'm already doing a full-time podcast.
But I'll do another one.
Exactly.
But that was 5 days a week, 3 hours a day. So at one point,
you were doing
between 2019, all of 2019 and 2020, if you count up the 3 podcasts I was doing 22 hours of podcasting a week.
What?
If you count the 3 hours we did,
no,
the 1 hour with Ralph and the 2.5 and the 1 hour or 2.5 hours I did.
How did you have that much stuff to talk about?
I don't know. It was insane. I was just on autopilot, and then I added up all that big chunk of us doing podcasting, and then I factored in like the other ones I've done, and this isn't even counting the ones I've like guested on or been a co-host, like a guest host or whatever. I've done almost 5,000 hours of podcasting in the last 6 years.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
What's more insane is you still haven't reached 10,000 hours, which is when they say you're good at. They say you're good at stuff at that.
I'm not even good at this yet. I have 5,000 more hours before I even get good at this.
That's when you're an expert.
10,000
You can teach other people how to not make money and talk for a living.
I can teach you guys how to talk for an hour and go home and cry.
Someone called me the other day and they're like, is there money in podcasting? And I was like,
you're spending it?
You're
or
hilarious.
Making it?
You're hilarious. You are hilarious. But I do think podcasting is like, I think it's the best way for people to get to know you.
It's a great audience builder.
And to get to know your sensibility. Yeah. And I like the format of the show. You said you had some people come up to you and like say that they had been listening.
Yeah, I was at a show over the weekend doing stand-up or whatever, and people came up and were like, oh, we love the show. We love what you guys are doing. It's very conversational, and you talk about real things. You talk about stupid things.
Yeah, because that's our real life.
Yeah. Our
real life is like text message threads of one of us talking the other off a ledge.
It's pretty much. Here, you hold the rope this time.
And then, hey, did you see this really dumb shit somebody did? Or aren't you glad we're not this guy? And it's like articles from the Sun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but that's
friendship.
Yeah.
That's real friendship.
That's been our friendship for over a decade now.
I've thought about it. God, it's been that long.
I think 2012 is when we met. I met you at... This is weird. I met you at the John Lovitz Comedy Club.
R.I.P.
Our mutual friend, John LaQuasto.
Yeah.
I guess you had come to a show with him, and that's where I met you, which is the same place I met Ralph Garman.
Wow.
When he was doing Hollywood Babylon there.
Do you ever look at like things like that where you're like, oh, that's like, if that wouldn't have happened, none of this stuff would have happened. Like these little tiny moments in your life.
I trace my, like any and I haven't had a lot of success in the world of stand-up comedy, but everything I've ever had is I could trace it back to, I had this friend who was a comedian named Rick Kunkler, and this was like in the early 2000s. And through him, I met his manager, who got me a showcase for Montreal, and that showcase in Montreal, I met my agent, who then helped me find my manager, who then the next year I got Montreal. And then at Montreal, I saw the producers that eventually got me on Live at Gotham. Like, it's
Isn't
weird.
it crazy how there's like little things like that where you don't know. That's why it's really hard to say no to certain gigs out here, because you don't know what's going to be the thing that
you don't know what's going to be
off.
the ripple that causes the
100%.
The pebble in the water that causes the ripple.
That's so funny. I thought you were going to say the pebble was Lovett's club, and I was going to be like, oh man, no. Rough news, Eddie. That's gone. I think it didn't become Howl at the Moon, right? That was a separate thing.
No, it used Howl at the Moon was separate. That used to be Lovett's used to be the BB King's Blues Club, and then became the Lovett's Club, and now it's actually on City Walk. It's it's
vacant.
The police station, the security guard station. Yeah. So.
Oh, where our careers have gone. It's very interesting.
It's interesting. But
yeah.
So I've done a lot of podcasting.
Yeah,
and I continue to do it.
A lot of podcasting and a lot of friending. You've been, I gotta give you credit. You've been one of those rocks in my life that, I mean, I don't know that I would have survived the past couple years without you.
All right.
What?
No, thanks. I appreciate it.
Take a compliment, dude.
I can't. It's awful.
I think people don't know what a good friend you are.
Oh, well, thank you.
Like, I've thought about that because I've been through some stuff, and I'm going through some stuff now.
Yeah.
And I feel like we talk about a lot of real stuff on this podcast, because that's if first of all, if I don't talk about the real stuff, I'm just going to be sitting here thinking about the real stuff while trying to make jokes, and that doesn't work.
Talk about the real stuff, and make jokes about the real stuff. That's
and
the way
clear it out of the way. You know what I mean?
That's how you deal with it.
So, but I recently went through my first like breakup post-divorce, and I will tell you, I think that breakup might hurt more than your divorce. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because I think because listen, when a woman leaves a marriage, when a woman leaves somebody that they've been with for a while, they've been on the way out for a while. Like a woman just doesn't pick up and leave.
You don't divorce like on a whim. It's usually
never.
You've grown apart for a while. Things have happened. And it's sort of like the divorce is the final nail in the coffin that you've been building for a while.
You hang on to this idea of this person that you thought you got with, and you're like, maybe that person can come back.
Yeah.
Maybe that person can be that person again. Maybe like you wait for that person to get their crap together while you're simultaneously going, all right, theoretically, if I had to do life alone again, what would it look like? You know, that's what women do.
Well, when you're going through divorce, you like, I don't know. I've never been through one, but I could.
I don't recommend it. 10 out of 10. Don't recommend.
Watching people go through it. And I was talking to both parties when you guys were divorcing. And I was trying to be a friend to both.
And you did a good job.
I tried to. But I could see you guys were both sort of mentally prepping for life without each other over that period.
Yeah.
And so I could see where divorce is a slower pull away.
It is.
As opposed to like a breakup in a relationship.
Unless there's some major event.
Yeah, like you're happy. Oh my God, you're fucking this person, bye. And then it's a breakup.
100%.
But if it's just a marriage that slowly dissolves over time, then there's a time, you have that adjustment period where you're kind of used to it.
But there's just something about starting to date again. First of all, I figured out I have a really hard time dating people. It is really hard to date after you've been somebody's wife. Do you know what I mean? Like after you've been in a marriage. Yeah, you don't know. Well, let me tell you, it's really hard to go back to being someone's girlfriend after you've been someone's wife. And I was having this conversation with a girlfriend of mine earlier this week, and she goes, Jen, listening to the dynamics of your previous relationship, she goes, I would argue that you've never been a wife. You've been a husband.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was like, do I owe you $185 for this session? Because it was true.
Right.
It was true. I spent so much time, not just in my marriage, but in my whole life being in my masculine, like being in this like cool girl energy that doesn't give a fuck. And the reality is like, I'm a very sensitive person.
Right. But you're also part of your personality is also very type A. You're also very like, go like grab them by the balls and go, like that's who you are. And I don't think that's a masculine or feminine trait, because my wife Tracy, she's very type A as well. And she can also be very vulnerable at times. And there's like...
Does type A mean type asshole?
It could be. Type fucking ass crazy. But yeah, I don't think it's a masculine or feminine thing. I just think it's like that's your personality is type A, and you just sometimes you're in a relationship where type A becomes the dominant personality type you're putting out there, and other times you're like, oh, I can let go of my type A a little bit and be taken care of a little bit. So I think
love
there's that
to be taken care of.
That
I've never had that.
right.
I've never had that, and it's.
But you also have to let yourself be taken care of. Sometimes
I've tried to let people take care of me.
So much in your type A, you can't let.
I've tried. It doesn't work. So far, it hasn't worked for me. You know. But I think in terms of like how I let myself be taken care of, like that's the part that's on me, where I'm like, I'm low maintenance, but secretly very high maintenance.
Super high maintenance.
So high maintenance.
You have no idea.
I am When Harry Met Sally high maintenance. Everything's on the side. Yeah. Everything is on the fucking side, but that's because of allergies. Let's be clear. I'm very particular about how I want things done. Okay. And I know that sometimes can be a very hard place to put another person in when you start combining your life with
it takes another type of personality type that fits into that.
That's more malleable than you, honestly.
Yeah.
A little more go with the flow.
You're a little more rigid in who you are and what you expect. And you need someone else who can't be as rigid as you, or it's not going to work. That's just a personality clash. No one's a better person or a worse person because of that. It's just conflicting personality types.
Yeah, I think the hardest part for me is parsing apart what's my personality and parsing apart what might need a diagnosis.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's the stuff that I've been going through lately.
Well, it's always a lot of self-evaluation anytime you go through a breakup or whatever.
Yeah, for some people, I think some people just bulldoze right through the self-evaluation part and they just find the next victim.
But it's coming at some point. At some point, you have to pay those.
I don't know, dude. I think there are people in this world that never pick up that call from the universe. You know what I mean? Like they never pick up that phone booth in the desert that's like, hey,
this is ringing. Someone answer.
Yeah. But if you pick it up, you might learn stuff about yourself you don't want to know.
A lot of people don't want to know.
It's a can of worms a lot of people would just rather stare at and be like, that's gross.
But that bill usually comes due at some point. Like a lot of people ignore that phone call for a long time, but at some point, maybe they're alone and they're 75 and they're in a trailer by themselves and they're looking back on their life and like, oh fuck, and then they realize. But I think you pay the bill eventually. Some people some people don't like living in debt, and some people pay their credit card bill every month.
Yeah,
we're people that pay our credit card bill. Some other people just like, no, I'll just let the interest build up,
dude,
and then I'll fucking pay it when I'm 80.
You are triggering me so hard with this statement right now. You have no idea.
But I'm just saying that's just some people stay up on their shit, and other people like, we'll deal with it later.
Yeah, and I think that's been the craziest part. Is just like I said, this breakup I think hit me harder than my actual divorce because I've just been trying to learn from it.
Yeah.
And learn from
That's your first real relationship since the marriage, right?
And learn from my divorce too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm still learning from my divorce. I'm still processing my divorce.
I would imagine. That seems
like one thing that I think was really hard for me is I have this tendency to see the best in people and like see their potential. And I will fall for someone's potential and not the real person.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes, but it's up to that person to see that potential in themselves. I can't force that person to see themselves how I see them. You know what I mean? Or to see what I think they could be.
Right.
Like they have to make that choice.
So you look at potential suitors like your favorite sports team. That's what you do. That's what you do. You're like, okay, we can go all the way this year.
He might get me a ring.
This guy's going to give me a ring. We can do it. This guy, we can win it all with this guy.
You would bring this back to a Washington football team situation, wouldn't you?
It's the only way I'm still a fan of that team. I see the potential.
I see the potential.
They break my heart every year, but I see the potential.
It is hard.
Yeah.
It is so hard. You're like, maybe it'll get better. Maybe new ownership will
we're in a
help
slump
this.
right now. New ownership will help. Get a new stadium.
But it's not, but at the bottom line is it's not fair to the individual.
It's not, no.
Because they don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know the filter that you're viewing them
right.
through.
And that's you putting that on them.
Yeah. It's like walking into a house on like HGTV and being like, this place has good structure, but there's a lot we can do with it. You know what I mean? Like that's the same the same vibe.
And the house is like, I'm fine, dude. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Why are you coming here messing with me?
You're like, this doesn't need to be a man cave. That's just kind of where I'm at right now. And it hurts really bad because I think after you get divorced, you don't want to fail again. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that's a really...
Well, you don't want to go like, I don't want to go into that huge commitment again and then that not work out again, because that's a huge chunk of, that's a huge investment in your life.
I think that that's the worst part about a divorce, especially when you get married later in life, is you go, oh, I've wasted so much time.
Yeah.
I think it makes you abundantly clear. It makes you abundantly aware that time is limited.
Yeah.
And there were things that I would have loved to have done with my life during my 30s that I didn't get a chance to do.
Right.
You know?
Well, you were doing the other thing.
Trying to do
the other thing.
To my best efforts.
But you can't always look at it like, okay, well, that time is gone. It's, I mean, I know we always think, okay, we have death coming at some point, or we have age coming at some point where we're not able to do the things we wanted to do with our lives because we're getting to a certain age. And you just like, that's the constant struggle in your head of like, okay, where can I, how do I push that feeling away so I can at least try to do things I want to do and be happy in the moment I am? But you always have that impending doom. You always have fucking Satan coming up behind you.
For sure.
Going, no.
There's a reason the show is not today.
It's like, he's always there. That thing is always there.
I think that one of the big questions like is figuring out like whether or not I want kids. And that I feel like is now every first date will always feel like a job interview where it's like, hey, I'm running up against a clock here on a project. Do you want to go halves or what? I
have a deadline that I got to meet.
Listen.
Right.
It's we do this now or it's all
Down
syndrome from here. You know what I mean? Like I am running out of time.
I need you to fill this out. I need 3 references.
I need 3 references and some
and a security
and a
deposit.
physical. And a physical. I just need proof of health. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, I mean, especially with women with the biological clock.
But like
for sure.
I think we've made it so that asking those hard questions when you're dating is like taboo. People are like, no, dating's supposed to feel fun and easy. I'm like, no, dating is supposed to feel like hard. Get the hard shit out while you're dating.
Right.
So that that's the person you're supposed to build memories with.
It depends on why you're dating.
Do you know what I mean?
Are you dating not to be serious? If you're looking to find something serious.
No offense. I'm not built for casual. I'm just not.
That's what I'm saying. But if it's casual and you're just out having fun and dating people, then don't take it serious. But if you're like, okay, are you a serious dater? Because I'm a serious dater. Like that should be the first question of the date.
Yeah.
And like, is this just for fun? Or are you looking to build something here?
Dude, that's why I can't get on the apps.
And then
I refuse to get on the apps.
Yeah.
The only app I'm on is Instagram.
I've never had to be on the apps.
You're so lucky. There's just a world of shit out there.
I have no idea.
That Tracy and you having a very amazing marriage has kept you in the dark and sheltered from.
Yeah. We've been together before pre-app.
Don't worry,
so.
You're gonna get to see it through Colton's eyes. I'm sure.
Oh, guys, growing up in LA. It's gonna be tough.
So tough. Has he recovered from the break? The girl with the broke his heart from Valentine's Day?
He's more upset that his friend turned out to be a dickhead than the girl that broke his heart.
Is that getting any better?
Last day.
Oh, there's an update?
Little minor update to the ongoing saga with Colton and his former best friend. He last day of school, he went up to him because he told me that before. He's like, Dad, I just have to clear my chest. I just have to get this off of my chest with him. I was like, all right, buddy, you can either ignore him and just let it, last day of school, you're not gonna see him all summer. You're not friends with him. He's out of your life. And he's like, no, I have to. I'm like, okay, all right, do it. And so he went up to the last day of school. He's like, hey, I just want you to know, you ruined the chance. You really ruined. You've been a dick to me the last 2.5 months, and you've ruined what could have been a really great friendship. And I feel sorry for you. And he walked away.
He didn't give him a chance to like say anything back.
Well, I guess the kid went. This is the kid's response. The kid goes, okay, and then Colton walked away. But he got it off his chest. He says he feels better.
Man, Colton's a sensitive soul like me. Yeah. I desperately need closure.
That's what he needed. He needed the closure of it.
And I think Colton demonstrated he is so much wiser than I am at this point. But I think one of the things that divorce taught me is you have to give yourself closure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to be able to give yourself closure when the other person you're interacting with is not capable of giving that to you. And I didn't realize...
Well, you should always give yourself closure in everything. Like, it should always be on you to give yourself closure and not rely on other people to do that for you.
But that's hard, especially when you weren't taught how to do that stuff as a kid.
Yeah.
When you weren't taught, like, you know what? You're safe.
Yeah.
And you made the right choice for yourself.
Right.
Or it's just hard is the only way I can explain it. It's hard when you haven't been taught that that you're enough through yourself.
Right.
So.
Well, we're mostly raised to think, okay, well, other people are going to be as good as you are, and we're going to take care of each other.
Like I when I'm fighting with someone, I need to validate their feelings and their experience. And there's nothing more hurtful than when I'm like, I'm sorry that this is happening and blah, blah, blah. And I see you and blah, blah, blah. And the other person goes, thank you. And there's no reciprocation.
You're like, hey.
And I want to be like, no. Come back. No. Now
you gotta throw that ball back.
Now you do it to me.
You gotta throw that back.
And they don't. And when someone won't volley back and say, hey, I see you, that's when I start putting up red flags. Where I'm like, oh, this person's.
But again, that person's incapable of doing that.
I know.
Or they would do it. And then you have to.
It's a weird coincidence. A lot of these people tend to be men, Eddie. I'm just saying.
Men are very closed off. And that's why Tracy and I are trying to raise Colton to be as open as possible and to be aware of situations like that. So he can, like, for instance, bring closure to it. And it was his own instinct. Yeah. To bring closure to it for him. Because I was doing the typical man thing of like, just ignore it, go away.
Is this high school? He's in high school.
He's in high school.
So does he have to see this kid next year or no?
Yeah. But I was doing the typical man thing, like, hey, just ignore him. It's over with. Go away. Just leave. And Colin's like, it just doesn't feel right. I gotta close it.
I love that.
All right, bud. And he did it. And he feels better about it. I'm like,
you're raising a good kid.
He's fucking better than me.
I saw something the other day. It was probably just a dumb meme, but it was like, when you're raising a son, you're not just raising a son. You're raising someone's husband and someone's father. Yeah. So the way you raise them is going to have a trickle down effect. Yeah. And like, you need to make sure you're doing your part to make sure that we're not perpetuating this thing where men can't have feelings and men can't talk about stuff within reason. Don't get me wrong.
He doesn't need to cry every 2 seconds.
Dude, there is a subsect of men that are in touch with their feelings now. Like, they got in touch with their feelings, but they have no idea what to do with them. And so then it just becomes trauma jizzing just all over you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Can't trauma jizz. You gotta. Sometimes you gotta edge a little bit. You can't just trauma jizz.
Let me get you a towel.
Sometimes you just gotta go right for the moment, then pull back. You gotta edge a little bit.
Oh, I saw this thing on Am I the Asshole? Because
we're always wondering, are we the asshole?
I take polls in my life all the time whether or not I am the asshole. And this one just like really struck a chord with me because I'm like, I've been in this position more times than I know what to do with. Yeah. And the question for Am I the Asshole was, am I the asshole for asking my partner to quit smoking weed daily? They're like, I've been dating my partner for a little over 4 years. Other than this issue, this is someone I could genuinely see myself spending the rest of my life with. When we first started dating, we were both really into smoking and playing video games. As we've gotten older and graduated school, I've moved on and started pursuing other hobbies while he has not. I don't feel that his habit impacts his life a ton, but I do know that he relies on it enough where it would definitely be considered an addiction. He doesn't have an appetite without it. He can't sleep without it. He finds most daily things super mundane without it. This bothers me because I grew up in a household where one of the adults in my life suffered heavily from addiction. And having gone through this with a parent, I refuse to sign up for this with a partner for the rest of my life. That being said, I love this person very much and want to make it work despite the difference. I struggle with this because I don't feel right asking him to change. But I know that if this is all day, everyday habit stays, I will have to leave this relationship. Am I the asshole for having to ask him to cut back?
No, I don't think so.
Honestly, that's kind of the consensus on Reddit. Let's be real.
Well, people can start in one place and they're both smoking pot and playing video games and that they're really vibing and that's how they click together.
This is how relationships fall apart, though, is when one person decides, I don't want this habit or I don't want this forever, or they change or they evolve.
We all evolve. Some slower than others. I guess some people do devolve. But if you're evolving and they're not evolving with you, then again, relationships are always work. And they take constant maintenance. And you have to work back and forth together with each other to make the thing work. It's not just easy. But at the same time, if both people don't want the same thing in the marriage or the relationship, then why are you in them? It's no longer mutually beneficial for each other.
Yeah. I think the hardest thing is if you've ever been in an environment, like if you were raised in an environment with like an adult that had like a drinking problem or substance abuse problem, being around someone
Yeah, it
who's
can be
like
very,
that,
triggering or whatever.
It feels like you can be in a relation, you can be in a room with someone and in a relationship with someone, and it feels like you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Because that person is on a different plane than you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Then the resentment grows of like, oh, you're choosing this over me. This is more important to you than I am.
I try not to let my brain go there, but honestly, I don't look at it more as them choosing that over me. I think it's like, what are you doing this thing for? Like, what do you need to cope with?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you using this as a crutch for?
Right.
Because, like, let's be real. People that have that kind of substance abuse issues or require something like that.
Yeah.
It's a deeper issue than that.
Yeah.
And they oftentimes aren't ready to look at it.
Right. And they can't go forward until they do. And so now you're being anchored down by this person who's not going to move forward.
Yeah, I have no problem. Like, you want to fucking check out and smoke some weed and build some Legos and
everybody needs their time to fucking unwind.
That's
different. That's
I'm talking
thing.
Like from the moment you get up to the moment you go to bed.
Yeah.
Like, that is your day.
That's how they live. And then you can't live that way.
You can't live that way because you're not living the same life.
No.
You're not even viewing life through the same filter.
No. And you guys were at one point when you both were living that way, but one person decided to change. So if the other person doesn't change along with them, then.
But this is kind of where I was thinking, where I said, like, I think I fall in love with people's potential.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where a dude can be a really great dude and
he's going to win 12 games this year. I think we're good. Or at least the first round.
And then you find out you drafted Johnny Manziel.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Go.
Like, and you're like, son of a bitch.
2-14 again? Fuck. Well, at least I'm going to have a high draft pick next year.
That's exactly what it feels like every fucking time. I've decided I want to just create a reality show where I let other people in my life pick the person for me, because I clearly I have a broken picker.
Have poor scouting staff. We've already discussed that.
I fucking hate you.
The scouting staff. You need to clean out the whole scouting department. Bring in new people. Get some fresh eyes in there.
I hate you.
That's what you have to do.
I hate you so much.
Just need a new scouting department. That's all.
Let's play some Moneyball.
New GM. Play some Moneyball. That's a good idea.
Let's move the team to Miami. Oh man. But yeah, I think it just is hard. It's hard. And I totally, everyone in the Reddit comments for the most part there was only a couple of people that were like, well, you changed, you moved the goalpost on them. And I've gotten accused of that before too. Like, oh, you moved the goalpost. And I'm like, you mean I'm growing?
Yeah.
I'm changing?
Right.
And I would like for you to do that with me?
I mean, there's a difference between moving the goalposts and evolving as a human being and growing up or changing I don't know, moving the goalpost to me seems more like reactionary. Like, no, I want this now. Now I want this. Now I want this. That's moving the goalpost.
Yeah.
To me, like going, hey, let's smoke less weed and be more present with me and not so much just high all the time. Let's adult.
Yeah. Let's see what we could replace this weed with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just feel.
And I don't want to live in that haze all the time. And I don't want to be the person I'm with, I don't want to be around that person that's in that haze all the time. I would like to experience other things.
But sometimes they don't even know it's like the problem because that's the environment they grew up in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then when you start to voice like concerns, then you're the problem.
Yeah. But then I think at that point you're not right for each other. And you separate. And
you're sober, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing.
Caffeine.
You and 5-hour energy. It's insane. Did Colton
it's my blood type
Did
now.
Colton ever come down from his?
Yeah, he came down. Yeah, he likes the energy drinks.
Is he addicted now? Do we have a
No,
problem?
well, he will ask for them. I'm like, no, bud, no. Give him. He can have one a week, and that's it.
One a week. Okay,
Yeah.
that's smart.
Yeah, I'm like, no more than that.
Otherwise, you're gonna put him into like cortisol problems and stuff like that.
He can have, and they're not even the
Adrenal
strong
fatigue.
ones. It's like the fucking Rain energy drinks. It's not even like the hardcore. It's not like Red Bull, which just tastes like battery acid.
C4.
Oh, fucking C4. Remember Hydroxycut when they used to have the fucking gnarly shit in it?
Yes.
I fucking one time I was at Bally's working. This is when they had a Bally's here, and now it's LA Fitness. I was literally working out, and I took like 5 of those Hydroxycut pills.
Eddie, what? You're lucky.
I was in my 20s. Oh, dude,
you're lucky you didn't have a heart attack.
I was in my early 20s when I did that. and I was working out, and I was like, the room started spinning. I was laying on the floor at Bally's, just like, let me just, so the room stopped spinning. I'll get up and I'll finish my work. It was like an hour and a half. I was at Bally's on the floor, just pretending like I was stretching. Because I didn't want people to know I was freaking out.
You were tripping. You were tripping balls on hydroxycut.
People were like, what are you? Oh, dude. I was just trying to pretend I was like just lifting my knee up, just like I'm just stretching.
Everything's fine.
Nothing's cool.
We're definitely not having a heart attack right now.
We're not freaking out right now.
I once did something similar, but with pre-workout, like a powder.
Yeah.
And they had like a little powder scoop in the bucket that it came with.
Yeah. And you're like,
but there was a bigger powder scoop on my counter, and I thought that was the one that it had come with.
No, it comes with a little one for a reason.
Yeah. No shit. So I accidentally took a bigger one, which was like the equivalent.
You took like a protein shake size one.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, you're lucky your head didn't blow up. Like fucking scanners, just.
It was so gnarly. Like I've never had
that
level
pre-workout
of
comes with a little scoop, and it on the back it says like for moderate is like 3 of those, and then like maximum is 4 of those little baby scoops. That's like maximum.
Dude, this was like a Lipton iced tea, big ass.
It's like a planter's shovel. Just
dude, so bad. Oh, just be careful. Just be careful with all the substances out there, kids. You know, we won't judge your lifestyle, but just like take care of yourself.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the floor of the gym for an hour and a half pretending to stretch.
Yeah, or even the homeless guy that came in there to shower is like, buddy, you okay?
Dude, you're tweaking, man.
What are you on? There was a dude low-key at my gym that I don't know if it was drugs or if it was psychological stuff. We never figured it out. But he used to do this thing where he would like run around with his eyes open, and then like he would stop and his eyes would shut and he would just kind of like rock.
Yeah.
And it looked like someone was playing a video game and then would get up and go do something.
and the character was just standing there,
yes,
waiting to move.
And I finally had to point it out to the front desk people. I was like, yo, is this dude okay?
Dude, his controller guy just BRB'd him.
I'm like, is he an NPC? Is he just waiting for a protagonist to come along and give him a side mission? Like,
dude, this homeless guy totally glitched out. Somebody's got to reboot him.
Oh man, we got to wait for the new game, the new game updates. I think my marriage was just one giant side mission on a video game.
Well,
I got distracted. Now I'm back on.
Back on the main mission. That's
back on the main mission.
Side missions can be fun.
No.
They can be a big waste of time, though.
No. Name one side mission that was a blast. Where you weren't like, the minute the little side character, the little mysterious side character that shows up.
That?
Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes you want to get through life and see the 100% complete. Right? So now you can check off marriage and divorce. You've done both those.
No. I would like to game genie my way through this. I would very much like to game genie my way through this. The real ones know. Do they have anything like that now?
Well, yeah, they have cheat codes. They don't have an actual game genie anymore, but
you remember that, right?
Oh yeah.
You plug that little cartridge on top of your video game, and it like.
Yeah, I guess it's mods, right? That's what
Sorry, I'm showing my age. Called. Showing my age
the old
now.
Mods where you go in and modify the game.
Whatever. It's a different world we're living in right now.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is.
I saw this list recently. I wanted to bring it up to you, Eddie. Yeah. It was a list of passive-aggressive phrases you're probably using and shouldn't be.
Okay.
And I wanted to run these by you because I was like, I feel like a lot of people use these around me. So are they being passive-aggressive? Like, am I just surrounded by dicks, or are we being too sensitive? So for instance,
probably both.
The first one was good for you. I mean, the way I just said it, it's
good. Well, that's that Christian.
Good for you.
That's that Christian Bale line from when he was in the Terminator movie.
Good for you.
And he's like, "Good for you."
But like, good for you. That's great. Yeah. Like, I don't feel like the version I'm saying sounds passive aggressive.
No, that's good for you.
No, it's good for you.
Shitty for everybody else, but great for you. I think you're an asshole, but great. That's awesome.
Is it passive aggressive?
Kinda.
Even when you go, "Oh, good for you, man."
Yeah.
Really?
Kinda.
Like they're like, "Oh, I just got this bit part." Oh,
good for you. Good for you. I can't believe it, but good for you. Like.
Well, the way you fucking say it, it sounds passive aggressive as shit.
I'm very passive aggressive.
I never mean that. I just don't know what to say to like an adult friend that gets something, has something.
I think
cool
any
happen in their
compliment
life.
sounds passive aggressive nowadays.
Oh,
that's great.
Is it? Is it weird? This isn't one of the ones on the list, but I always feel weird telling another adult that I'm proud of them.
Good boy.
I don't say good boy, but I love it when people say good girl.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
Not like that. Stop it, Eddie. Stop it.
So you say I'm proud of you?
We don't own this couch. I say I'm happy for you. And I mean that. And I said, and I always add behind it, I'm happy for you. And I don't mean that in an LA way.
Yeah.
Like I mean that in a genuine way. And I had a girlfriend go like, she actually texted me like after the fact and was like, I did not know how to respond to that when you said that to me because I'm so used to people taking my wins as their loss.
Right.
So when they are like, oh, I'm so happy for you. It's
that's
like good for you.
People in this town, in this industry, everything's a zero-sum
game.
It feels like, oh, if you want, well, now that you're at the table, there's no more room left for me.
That's so not true.
I'm fucked.
That's so not true.
It's not true at all. But I think if people are just like, oh, you got that? Great. Good for you. That's awesome. I'm going to go home and cry now.
Put a leaf in. These tables are extendable most of the time.
Most of the time.
Okay, next one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry you feel that way. That is 1,000%
I don't hate
aggressive.
that one though.
Well, yeah, because you're a dude. That is
But sometimes there's like, I don't feel that way, but I'm sorry you do.
That's not how you say that.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
No, I'm sorry I made you feel that way.
I'm sorry I made you feel that way.
I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That's the proper way to say that. Because odds are...
I'm sorry you feel that way?
Yeah, I'm sorry you feel that way implies that you have no ownership in the feelings that I'm feeling. But and you're invalidating my feelings.
I don't think it's invalidating.
Eddie.
I don't think it's... But what if you say something where you're like, I can't control how you respond to something. So I guess it's the comedian in me going, okay, well, if I'm in an audience and you guys are all groaning at my joke, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. That was fucking funny.
Yeah, that's fine. That's different.
But that's
a very specific example.
It's very specific, but at the same time, it's like, you can't be mad at me because you got offended at something. You were triggered by something that I had no idea you experienced.
So you disagree with this one?
Well, I guess it depends on how you say it and how the intention comes out.
I know.
Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like that's a dickhead thing
I know
to say.
that you will totally disagree with this one. It's fine.
Yeah, fine's a great thing.
I know.
People hate on fine. I have a whole bit about it in my act. Fine's a great word. We don't use it enough.
I once broke up with a dude and I was like, hey, listen, I think you're a great person, but I think you'd be better off with someone else. And he just wrote fine. And I was like, whew.
Fine.
Maybe I need Colton to teach me how to have closure. Because fine was the meanest thing he could have said in the moment where I'm like, I just wanted to have like the Olympics. I just wanted to have a closing ceremony with you where we both acknowledge we're both good people. This just did not work.
Take our bows and walk off the stage.
Yes. Take our medals.
It's a great show, but now it's over.
We participated. Right. Yes. See you again in 4 years because that's how life works. You know what I mean?
No, fine can be a little dagger sometimes.
Fine.
It's a little knife you can throw.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Whatever is another one.
Whatever.
Not like that.
Whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, that is passive. I don't think that's passive aggressive.
No,
that's aggressive.
That's completely aggressive. There's no passive about that.
Whatever.
That's just whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever is just like...
No one ever says whatever in a positive. It's always whatever.
What does whatever mean?
Just do it.
What does whatever mean?
I don't care. To me, that's what it means.
I feel like this needs to be a tag for your bit about it's fine.
It's fine. Because like Tracy will say something like, hey, do you think we need... I'm going to go to the store and get more dog food. You think we need dog food? I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Do we need dog food? Go look. If it's empty,
I don't know.
If it's empty, yes, buy dog food. If it's not, don't buy dog food. Whatever. Whatever. I don't care.
Okay. If you say so.
If you say so.
If you say so. If you say so. That one feels pretty aggressive.
If you say so. Yeah, but what if you really don't know? And like, all right, you're the expert on this. If you say so.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe. No, I think you're right. I don't think it's passive aggressive.
It doesn't feel passive aggressive to me. If you say so.
I have a client that's like that. They're very hard. They don't like to take suggestions for like writing stuff very often. And I'll be like, okay, if you say so.
If you say so.
Whatever.
He's
got a lot of writing credits, so I can't argue with him.
Shit, I don't care.
I'll be exactly. That's kind of the subtext of it is, all right, let me know how that works. So. Let me know how that works and when you're in front of an audience.
Please record it.
Yeah. And then you're too sensitive, which
That seems aggressive. That's not a passive aggressive.
That's aggressive.
Thing. That's aggressive.
That's aggressive.
You're too sensitive. That's not a fucking you're not trying to cover that up at all.
No, you're just invalidating someone's feelings.
Yeah.
They also had a list of stuff you shouldn't say in the workplace that's aggressive.
Yeah.
Or passive aggressive. The first one, I'm definitely guilty of.
What?
It's per my previous email. Hey, in case you didn't read the last one, asshole. Or like I said in the last email.
Oh, this time louder for the guys in the back.
That's what that is.
Wow.
Per
my previous email.
I mean,
what are you supposed to write though if no one responds to the email?
Oh, I don't know.
Right? Like, what would you write? You
can't write. Circling back. That's what I like to do.
Hey,
circling
just
back.
wanted to read. Just wanted to look back.
The next one kind of loops in with this, and it's ceasing boss for visibility, or looping us in with the boss for visibility.
That's a call out. Like, oh well, fuck.
Hey, answer this because now I brought an adult.
Yeah, the boss is now involved. Again, that's not passive aggressive. That's just fucking aggressive.
This one I've had done to me before. A lot of us think that
Hooters. Is this a Hooters quote?
No,
all the Hooters girls around you.
They were awful. No, they were awful. A lot of us think that, I wouldn't care. I would not have cared.
I don't care what all of you think.
Yeah, but a lot of us think. I've had that done to me before, and it makes you feel like very isolated in the workplace, you know?
I think it's just someone trying to amplify whatever
their opinion.
Their opinion.
1,000%.
That's just them trying to, throw some gasoline on their little match of an opinion.
Oh, for sure. And then using words like obviously and phrases like no offense. I always say no offense right before I say something very offensive.
Yeah,
that was one of my.
I'm not racist, but
no, not that way.
Yeah,
but yeah. I'm in a weird predicament.
Why?
I'll get into it next episode.
Okay.
We gotta get
a teaser.
Yeah, listen. I didn't realize we've gotten through a lot of crap today, and I was just looking at like the things I wanted to go through.
We worked through a lot,
and I was like, no, I think we should talk about this, and on a high, insane note.
Yeah,
and it's that. I saw this article the other day that I sent Eddie, and it was about this dude that got caught at the airport by TSA.
Oh yeah,
because he had like a gazillion pounds.
He had a case of spam.
Define a case.
What's it? The 12-pack, right? Is that a case or a 24-pack?
Like a 24-pack. 24-pack. And they showed a picture of it, and it was just all these different flavors of. First of all,
like jalapeno spam.
I didn't know they made that much spam.
Oh, they got all kinds of spam.
That's disgusting. Yeah. Who had spam one time was like, you know what we need? Variety.
More of this and different flavors.
Spam is one of those food to me that just should not exist.
It's huge in Hawaii.
That's not where he got it.
I know, but that's huge.
He got it like in the Midwest somewhere because there's a museum.
There's a spam museum?
There's a spam museum. Gross.
I have to go to the spam museum.
You go to some of the weirdest places when you travel.
I love weird museums.
Absolutely not. I'll be in the hotel taking a nap. But I've thought about this. I was like, we travel a lot. I've seen some crazy shit at airports. Like one time in Tampa.
Yeah.
I was in TSA with this guy that was like holding up the line, and like you could tell like TSA was like really looking at this x-ray hard.
They were alerted.
They were really staring at this x-ray hard. And I feel like they had money on like which one could figure out what this thing was.
Oh.
And it turned out that this guy was traveling with an old style accordion.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it looked insane on the x-ray. So they were like, you gotta open that.
You gotta take us out and play it.
Another time was a buddy of mine was traveling with his WWE belt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they pulled it out?
They wanted to pull him out and like take I think they took pictures with him. Of course,
they only stopped him because they
Yeah. They're like, we're just taking pictures to make sure that this
Was he a recognizable WWE
Yeah,
superstar?
for sure.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah. I've never gotten caught with anything weird in my bag, ever.
I love that when you go through the Atlanta airport, there's like this case that says, don't bring any of these in here. And like some of the shit that's in that case is insane. Like one was like a leaf blower. Where you're like, they wouldn't put this here if someone hadn't done it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, who's gonna hijack an airplane with a leaf blower? Like, I'm gonna mess up your hair so bad your mother won't recognize you. You know what I mean? Like, no one.
So dumb.
But the fact that that's in that case.
I mean, somebody tried to do it.
Oh, 100%.
Somebody tried to bring a car battery through the fucking TSA.
So dumb. And then it's the only dumb thing that I've ever done with TSA.
I've never had anything weird because I know I'm flying, so I don't pack weird shit in my bag.
I've only done it in like retribution to somebody that deserves.
You fucked somebody over?
Yeah. So we went to the national championship game in Atlanta. It was a national championship basketball game in Atlanta when UF was playing. I know, but free tickets. So whatever. Don't judge me.
No loyalties with free.
No, exactly. What's the cost? Oh, I can watch this for free. Fine. So I went to the game with like a group of friends, met a bunch of friends there. And we had to find food after the game. And once, you know, like some parts of town, unless you're in a major city like New York or LA, most places shut down after a certain hour.
Except the Waffle House.
Yeah. There were no Waffle Houses in this area. But we walked around and we found this one place and we sent our buddy in to like kind of scope out the situation. He goes, I don't know, this place looks a little weird, but like, you know, they're still serving, so that's fine. Now, to just preface this is like that one friend in your friend group that like is a very nice person.
Yeah.
But you don't want to talk religion or politics with them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we just have different views on this.
Sure.
And he's very like...
Just keep it to yourself, buddy.
Keep it to yourself. Yeah. Don't ask, don't tell. Right. Like, that's his vibe. You know what I mean? Love him, but that's what happens when you are raised in the South. You know what I mean?
God, you could evolve.
God bless him. I hope that came out passive aggressive.
It did.
Anyways.
Good for you.
So we go into the restaurant.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking around.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm ecstatic because I look at the menu and the menu literally said under hot dog, 1 foot of all beef. Need I say more? Oh, yeah. There are rainbow flags all over this restaurant. They are blasting.
He was dying to drop the other F word, is what you're saying.
They're blasting Ace of Base. They are blasting ABBA. And this guy is completely unaware of any of this. And so to pull out that classic line from the movies, I was like, hey, bro, do you know how I know you're a gay? I was like, you took us to a gay bar. So he got really, really butthurt. Really, really butthurt. He was super embarrassed because like, he's just that type of dude. We weren't going to let this die.
No, you can't.
No, we have to like double down on this.
You gotta dress him down with his homophobia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have to call it out.
Yeah.
So anyways, we grab a stack of those magazines, those free magazines that are by the door.
Yeah.
That are like campus magazines, like the out magazines, you know? We grab a stack of those.
Yeah, like O-Ring magazine.
Some lube.
Ooh.
And a bottle of water. And we put them in his carry-on bag. And the next day, we're all going through security. It's super early, but we've all forgotten that we've done this. And they get pulled aside for additional screening. And we're all like, oh, what the? And we're like, oh, God.
What have we done?
And so this is like before cell phone like videos and stuff were like a thing, or this would have definitely gone viral. And when, let's just say when security opened up his bag, he had an absolute meltdown at TSA. I was shocked we got let on this flight because he was so mad at us. Anyways.
I'm not gay. Oh,
it was so funny.
So funny.
You have to call it out.
You have to call out.
We have to make them feel stupid for stupid
homophobia
opinions.
For sure.
Like,
you're not over that by now.
Yes. What is wrong with
you?
Toxic masculinity. But anyways, Eddie, I feel like it's time.
It's time?
Yeah, let's do it. Maybe Eddie can, find some time during all of his podcasting schedule to make us a new bumper.
5,000 more hours. I'll get it done.
Jesus Christ.
I need 5,000 more hours.
All right. What do you got, Eddie?
Today in Florida Man Friday, I read Jen Sturger 3 Florida Man headlines, 2 real, 1 fake. Just tell me which is the fake headline. And there you go. That's how we play. And you're playing along too, right? All right. Here we go.
Do this.
Ready? Florida man worried about vampires burns down his house. Florida man tries to use taco as ID after his car catches fire at Taco Bell. Florida man arrested for practicing karate on swans. Which one of those is the fake?
That last one is
Florida
so specific.
Which one is the fake Florida Man headline? Or the Florida Man headline that hasn't happened yet?
I feel like it's the third one.
Third one? Taco ID?
That one feels the most
It's
realistic.
my idea,
These are all really
officer.
good. I don't know, Eddie. These are really good.
With sour
You outdid
cream all
yourself.
over it. So you're the third one?
Yeah.
You're saying Taco ID? You're a winner and Florida Man Friday headline person of the year, Jen Sturger.
Woo! Of the year? You're already giving it to me?
I've already given it to you for the year.
I'm just boat racing, everybody. Listen, I feel like I used to deny my Florida-ness, and I feel like now I'm just owning it. I'm outing my shadow. I really am.
You're really being you now.
I am. I don't know if that's a good thing because I'm single.
Florida man arrested. No, let people know who you are. That's how you attract the people you need.
Exactly. Let your freak
flag fly.
Fly. Yeah. Oh, the vampire fire one's real, huh?
Yeah.
That was the only other one where I was like, maybe.
Vampire. He thought his house was invaded by vampires. So
yeah.
he burned it down.
I mean, I've done the second, so I was like, that's fine.
I've given out my taco for.
Here's my chalupa, sir. Yeah, for sure. Oh God, where can people find you, Eddie?
You can check me out on all the socials at Eddie Pence or eddiepence.com.
You can find me all over the internet, sadly, at Jennifer Sturger on most things. Please keep sharing us, guys. You're doing such a great job. We love seeing you guys respond to all of the crazy stories we talk about and like the things we ask for your advice for. I love getting random tweets and then remembering, oh yeah, they're a week behind me.
You texted.
I thought this lady on Instagram, on Twitter was mad at me.
He sends me a screenshot.
Like, sorry about your mom. I read everything like someone's mad about me.
Well, last week we posted the episode, last Friday, the episode where you talked about
my friend,
your friend who had the
from
Facebook
high school
post
with the Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, and we recorded that 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah,
and then it got released, and you completely forgot about it. And then someone tweets at you, just say sorry about your mom sucks. Delete the post or something like that. And you sent it to me like, I'm like, I think it's about the Girl Scout cookie post.
And that's what she said. And I was like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, keep doing that. It was hilarious, honestly. Nothing like a 2 a.m. panic attack when I think someone's mad at me. But I love that so many of you, honestly, are downloading it immediately.
Yeah.
Listening to it immediately when it drops. Like that it fills my heart with so much joy that we are reaching you guys with our dumb shit, our personal shit.
And leave us a 5-star rating and a positive text review.
Because that will push us up like my bra is right now. Anyways, guys, we love you. Thank you so much for sharing us. And we'll see you next time on Not Today. Bye.